Okay, I want to see if I can get a sense of my system to you here, just because we can kind of get an idea of what we've got going on. This is all of the elements that are on the aircraft itself. They're not put in the aircraft yet. There's the aircraft, which means that the APM unit, the flight controller here, is not plugged into any of the controllers for the aircraft. It has input and output for each of the control surfaces, elevators, ailerons, etc., throttles, so that it can take over control of the aircraft when I tell it to. Main power supply battery here that would also be running the aircraft motor. I can separate those if I have problems with my with the video quality, FPV quality, but I don't think I will because of our little regulator we've got going on here. The power supply module here sends all of the information about battery pack levels, that kind of thing, information to the APM, which is transmitted by the 3D via telemetry to the ground. So it's transmitting a live data log of everything that it gets from the power system, from the APM, attitude of the aircraft, its airspeed, that kind of thing. Plus it's transmitting all the GPS information about where it is, the direction it's going, its altitude. All that information is transmitted through the radio. In the ground station here, we have a 3DR radio, which is a receiver transmitter on this end, which is connected into the computer. And this is the actual autopilot control center. This shows me the artificial horizon, plus, and let me show you here. I'm going to go ahead and pick up this module and move it around like this, and you can see that it's actually transmitting the information about the attitude of the aircraft in real time, okay, wirelessly. So we can see what the aircraft is doing via telemetry. Down below is some more quick gauges if you need them, which you oftentimes do. And then your GPS position. If we were to take off around the neighborhood right now, this aircraft would actually be going. So when it's in the air, it will actually transmit a live position for where it's at the same time. Okay, there are several other screens. One of them is the flight planner screen, and in that screen now you can go in using your keyboard and your mouse interface and tell it what you want it to do. You want it to make a pattern, a path, climb, loiter at a certain place, come back, land, whatever it is you want it to do, you would tell it in real time, transmitted via the 3DR radio, and it would respond and do what it was told. Whether it was hold position, fly pattern, whatever you wanted it to do, come back home. Okay, so second system is the OSD and FPV system, and that's what's in the cockpit here. You can see there's a camera. This actually has a pan for it so that it can change angles and look around. But you actually, the pilot is seeing through this camera. That camera is connected through this little thing called MinimOSD, and what it does is it takes the information that it's gathered to the mission planner, and it's also giving you an overlay that's transmitted via the FPV transmitter. That's what this is up here. Now you're actually seeing what the pilot sees. This is the first of two monitors. The second monitor, the primary monitor, is the HeadPlay system, and both of them have an overlay that shows you as much information or as little as you want. All I wanted on here at the time was the quality of my GPS and my nav link, so I can see how good a quality I have there, roll and attitude information, and that's it. When I my radio, it would put a different set of information on here, which is full information about RSSI, the amount of the signal quality from the remote control, the battery levels, flight time, all those kind of things. But in this particular mode, I have a very simple screen, and I can turn this screen off as well and have no information at all. Okay, so now a little bit more about the ground station. There are There are several antennas for it. The first one, of course, is your 3DR telemetry antenna. The next two have to do with an audio. They come into what is received put that back. It's received by two different kinds of antennas. One is an 8 decibel patch. The other one is a 5 decibel dipole, and it's an omnidirectional. Between those two, you have a pretty nice radiated pattern. The EagleEyes system, which is hiding down below here, will decide between the two of them which signal is better, and transmit to the switch to the other one as necessary if it loses signal on one of them. So if you fly out of the directional patch antenna, the omnidirectional will pick it up if you're behind your primary long range. Besides the EagleEyes Diversity system, this also can be utilized if I decide later to put an antenna tracking system. This module will do the same thing with that. It has all the inputs, outputs that I need to put a 2-axis gimbal tracking system on my antenna array. If I decided to put a real high decibel Yagi antenna or something like that, then I could make sure that I kept a real accurate tracking on the cone. Okay, so then the last antenna, which is the fourth one, is the radio itself. And of course, there's the radio. Right now I have the normal antenna on it, and you can use it that way just fine. It's a 2 decibel antenna with no amplifier. When you're using long range, you can unscrew that antenna off of there, plug into this instead, and you've got a 2-watt amplifier, which gives you about 2 1/3 miles. So I hope that's thorough. I hope I haven't forgotten anything here. Everything in here is powered by one lead acid battery. Of course, this is my power supply. Right now I've got it running off the house current just so I don't run my battery down, but the battery will last for a full day. The DVR recorder, I've got it set up with a bypass switch because it has if you lose video signal, a DVR a lot of times will just drop out. If it drops out, I don't want it taking this monitor with it. So what I have here is a bypass switch. I can use this switch by turning it off. You'll see that some other data comes online. If I had the recorder on, you see a recorder icon in the corner here, and that would tell you, yes, I've got the recorder running and so forth. Well, once it's running, just go ahead and turn the bypass back on, so it's not showing up on this monitor. It's then recording on a separate feed. So if it does drop out for whatever reason, it doesn't take your backup monitor with you. Okay, I adjusted things a little bit here just so you could see a little bit better. There is the antenna. I don't have it extended all the way up, of course. Here's the emission planner interface. Down below here is actions. This is where you set up your programs for whatever autopilot mission planning you wanted to do. You'd set up everything at this point. Go over to our into flight mode here, or excuse me, flight planner, and we can go ahead and set up a path that we want to do, and go ahead and save that, write it to the aircraft, and then we can go back into our programming and tell it what we want it to do and when we want it to do it. Okay. As I was saying before, this gives you a little better idea of just what exactly all the overlay information is. Percentage values of your batteries, longitude and latitude, which you can't see on this screen very well. I may have to adjust where they're sitting on the. This is all adjust. You can modify the position of everything on here, what is included, what is not. So we have RSSI values, the number of satellites we've acquired. We've got a nav link. Down below here you can see what flight mode you're in. The direction back home is the arrow here, then your artificial horizon. I'll go ahead and give a little tilt to that so you can see that that's actually functioning as well. Your heading, of course, is working. Climb rate and altitude are on the top right. And there you go. So there's a lot of information. That's not everything. There's more there than I'm saying. And of course, all of that is fed into the HeadPlay system as well. So hope that gives you a little idea of what's going on. Thanks for watching. The next thing is going to be to take this system now, since I've got it all running. I've got it running on the bench here, and incorporate it into the aircraft, and that'll be the next thing that you see me do. It's a great airplane. I've had it out with an OSD, Cyclops OSD running in it. The thing flies beautifully, so I'm really looking forward to getting her in the air. Thanks for listening.